at that stage. I think
was the game already gone by?
The game was well won. Wigan even took a penalty in the last minute, a penalty kick at goal, just to get rid of the clock because it was raining that much. Everyone wanted to
go home.
Yeah. In terms of the stats, the game had the most penalties of any so far this season, 27, with the Rovers conceding 18 of those. I must admit, I did think they were guilty of a lot of things in the game, particularly Mossima So, and James Greenwood seemed to want to make an impression on his former club, but he kind of ended up just having but like niggling with Joel Tompkins, and there's only going to be one person who comes out on the right end of that. I'd say the more experienced player playing in the team that's on the front foot. So Wigan were hugely dominant, almost twice as many metres. Rovers getting less than 800 metres. Wigan had, and really Rovers didn't probably have one good exit set all game where Wigan didn't restrict them. Until Wigan ran away with it on the scoreboard, they absolutely closed in on exit set metres, and Hull were kicking the ball from their own 30 relentlessly. 1.9 metres per carry better average game for Wigan, with 10 breaks to 2 and 8 tries to 1. Wigan did make more errors, but had a strong 4.3% win on the team tackle success to help them to defend the errors they made. Individually, Liam Marshall, 4 tries, 1 try assist, 8 tackle balls, 178 metres, 5 clean breaks. If you took the gamble to put him in your dream team, with him missing one of the games, he still would have scored an absolute bagful for you. George Williams with 1 try and 4 try assists. Dan Sarginson with 165 metres. Tom Davies with 156 metres. Justin Carney for Hull KR was the only one that ticked any of the boxes. 141 metres. He played on both wings by the end of the game. He did try to return the ball hard, but he just did a lot of carries, really, for those 141 metres. Then the next game... Just
before we move on, sorry. You'll know this, but in terms of, the number of points that Wigan seem to score on Bank Holiday Monday, it's massive. I mean, Tim was talking last week about the number of times that you seem to put Hull KR to the sword. I remember famously you put 80 on us when we were in one of our poor years. It just seems like you seem to do rather well on Easter Monday.
2013 we put 80 odd on Hull KR. 2014 we put 80 odd on Bradford. 2015 we actually lost at Salford, I think, with a poor second half capitulation. 2016 we beat Hull KR, put on just short of 40 points. 2017 last year it was a pretty scrappy game, we narrowly beat Wakefield in a tetchy affair. But yeah,
You seem to come out of the Bank Holiday kind of Good Friday game. It's a pretty good record.
Well, part of it is squad depth.
Yeah,
part of it is conditioning. Probably being one of the best conditioned sides in Super League. But yeah. So the TV games now.
Yep.
Widnes 6, St Helens 28 in front of 6,706. Chris Kendall was the referee again, getting a double TV gig this weekend. What did the fans have to say?
So Neil said, well played Saints, classy performance today. Looked like Betts put all his eggs in one basket for away to KR, resting about 6 players today. 11 from the 17 came through our academy, which is good. However, not playing them all at once isn't helping. And Paul O'Brien, so POB 1976, says, another poor performance from the Vikings, poor in defence and clueless in attack. Highly professional in this podcast studio now.
Well, I had to move my chair to let everyone into the studio.
Into the studio, yeah.
And I ended up dropping my chair. Sorry, we interrupted Paul O'Brien.
Sorry, Paul. I really apologise. So he says, another poor performance from the Vikings. Perhaps he just wants to forget about it. I don't know. Poor in defence and clueless in attack. Big changes are needed at the club. Attendances are down as fans are fed up of watching the same rubbish. Interesting. Did you watch this one?
We watched a bit of it last night, didn't we, Emma? But we weren't fully focused on it, were we? The Widnes against St Helens game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, 3-handed one, this one.
No, I caught up with most of it. I think I turned it off after about an hour or so. I think I turned it off when the try scoring had finished, basically. So when was that? Makinson scored his try on 58 minutes. So at that point, I turned it off. That was Makinson's second try, weren't it?
Yeah.
To be honest, everything just sat right for Saints, innit? The ball sat up for them every time. They were so on the front foot that they deserved those opportunities. And it just seemed routine to me, but you probably saw more of it than I did.
I just thought that Widnes were just panicking about Barber. They were jumping out of the line and trying to solve the problem on their own, trying to tackle him 1-on-1, which is never going to work for you because he the one thing is he's very elusive. So they were both of the tries early on. I mean, they were the worst enemy really in terms of trying to shut down a player where if they defended as a team they might have had a better chance of success. For Percival's try when the ball bounced, I mean that's just an unlucky bounce. I mean, there's not a lot you can do about that.
Yeah, it's how the ball bounces.
It's how the ball bounces on that pitch. But they should be able to predict that better than anyone. But yeah, they were out of it early on, in my opinion. Widnes really. Saints kind of early scores and just went through the motions really.
The main talking point is probably, other than the fact that Saints were just cruise control for this game, well done to Tommy Makinson getting his 100 tries for St Helens.
Yep.
And Luke Douglas's sin binning.
Yes.
I understand how the rules are. Any dangerous contact penalty is a sin binning under the rules as they are. Trying to cut it out because of twisting of legs or crushes and stuff like that. Completely understand that. This one felt unfortunate because Douglas did try to make room for Craven's head, and I just don't think Craven's head played ball straight away. It kind of fell the other way to where the space was. But them's the rules. I've seen on the disciplinary stuff that no further action's being taken against Luke Douglas, which I think is probably fair on this occasion.
It did strike you as harsh, and I guess it's one of those things that the rule is there to try to protect players. If he'd just got straight up away, without kind of needing a little bit of treatment on it, then it wouldn't have even been mentioned. It wouldn't have gone into any kind of report. So you can kind of understand.
Players are very good at holding the back of the necks now, though, aren't they?
Yes, it's terrible. I mean, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because it's. I've never been in one of those tackles, but I can imagine when you've got 15, 16 stone on the back of you, you can understand why it might worry you.
Well, from the perspective of my club. In the last 2 seasons, I've seen 2 players miss significant portions of the season from the result of those sorts of tackles that have given them serious injuries on the necks. Tony Clubb 2 years ago and Oliver Gildout last year. So it is right to curb them. I just think this one was quite unlucky. But it didn't affect anything really because Saints were well in control on the stats. They had big wins across the board for Saints, other than losing errors 14-8. So kind of similar to Wigan. Those two are kind of dovetailing each other this year a little bit. They made up for the error count with a 4.8% better team tackle success, 320 more metres and 3 more clean breaks, as well as 5 more tries. They scored a few tries from kicks, didn't they, in this game? Some neat finishes from Mark Percival in particular, who leads the way individually. 2 tries, 7 tackles, 129 metres. Tommy Mack had 2 tries and 141 metres. Kyle Amor, 141 metres. Zabtaya, who's really having a renaissance this season, 140 metres. He's cut the errors out and is really working hard for his team. On the losing Widnes side, there were some standouts. Tom Olberson, 135 metres. Sam Wilde backed up his Friday game with another tackle in marathon. 50 tackles, 12 marker tackles. Big Ted Chapel-Howe, 40 tackles, 13 of those were marker tackles. And Ryan Ince getting his first game of the season, to my mind, 107 metres for the young winger, who be good to see him get some game time, but like people have said, maybe not when the rest of the kids are getting game time as well. I think in this one they had Danny Walker, Brad Walker, Ted Chapel-Howe, Ed Chamberlain,
it was a very
young team. Ryan Ince, obviously.
But they're missing a lot of experience. Yeah. I mean, in terms of the man of match, it was 4 Saints players picked out. I would have had Tom Olberson on that ballot, even if it was a token for Widnes, because he was really good in this game. Really stood up.
You could notice that he was making meters. He looks a lot bigger at the moment, doesn't he, than I've ever seen him before?
Yeah, he was. Maybe he just looks bigger than the smaller kids that are around him. Maybe I don't know, but yeah, he's never a spectacular player, but he was really good in this game, and he deserves the credit of that because he was good, and he made a really good break in the second half. Was it the second half he made that break?
I can't remember.
Yes, it was. But yeah, a lot of those 135 would have been in that break where he showed a bit of pace, and he was good. So in my opinion, he deserved at least a chance on the ballot, even though it was always going to be Barber yet again.
Final. Did he win man of the match 2 in a row? Final game of the weekend was Catalan Dragons hosting the Huddersfield Giants in the battle of the bottom two. Or at least the bottom side, the teams down there at the bottom. 27 points to 6 it ended to the home side, having gone in trailing 6-4 at half-time. 8,853 were there at this one with Scott Mikalauskas as the referee. So a little bit of a positive uptick. We're talking about the downslope for Widnes in terms of crowd. Catalan have been on that same slide, so this is a bit of a positive move for them crowd-wise, I think. And we had 2 reviews from our Catalan-friendly friends.
So, continuing the theme from earlier on, Malcar Matios says, Kit Karma, them's greyer than our away kit. That'll learn you. And Alan Walker says, too busy, missed it again, didn't miss much. Beating Giants at home doesn't say much.
Yeah.
Well, I would have to say, shock horror, in the second half, Catalan looked like a team that could play a bit of rugby. They seemed really good. Their interplay was good. I thought Lange was quiet in the first half, but when he took it to the line, he actually looked half decent.
Well, he's a ball running halfback.
He's
isn't
a big
he's
lad.
Halfback. He's not halfback. He's a centre, but he's a ball running player.
Yeah, if you're going to use him in that position through dearth of other options,
finally Gigo in the halves as well. Someone who can actually play a bit of rugby.
Yeah,
put a rugby player in the halves. It's been crying out for it since he returned a month ago.
I mean, they were saying in the commentary about Mead about he's a running fullback, and he is, he kind of he did the great thing. He was supporting runners. That's what he did at the Titans.
Yeah. But if you've got a running fullback, don't put your ball playing forward as a halfback. Have a ball player in the forwards as well as a ball player in the halfback.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they after what was quite frankly a really bad first half.
Yeah.
My notes said there was no cowbell, so that obviously didn't make it through customs or through the airport checks. But yeah, I mean, the weather was good. It was kind of reasonably warm.
Sunny in the first half.
Sunny. The pitch looked decent. It certainly lent itself to a decent game, but the first half was pretty poor.
Do you think the first half was that poor, or do you think Huddersfield were actually... Jordan Turner was very good in the first half. Do you think they were actually quite good, but didn't take the chances? I mean, the one that sticks out in my mind most was Darnell McIntosh's forward pass that he just kind of fumbled out of his hands really close to the end of the first half. He had 2 men outside him who would have walked in for scores. Yeah. Lawrence, who'd been moved into the centres after, I think, did Mella go off injured early doors?
He tested. See, this was only a couple of days ago, but I was testing my memory.
That's what the team lineup suggests. I missed the first 10 minutes. I got home about 10 minutes after the game had kicked off.
You didn't miss much in the first 10 minutes.
I got in just after the Catalans try, actually.
All right.
So 15 minutes or so into the game. So Huddersfield were quite good, I thought, in the back end of the first half. They just couldn't take the chances. Video referee controversy. We can't talk about the system of video refereeing, that's parked, but we can talk about the decisions they make in individual games. And I was quite happy with the Fuad Yaha jumping from in goal decision. I thought his foot was on the line when he jumped up, but stupid of him to just take it for granted that he was going to get the call that way and not be wary that Aaron Murphy might try and nick it.
Well, you think the referee was making a clear play on signal. So you think he'd at least glance at the referee and not look so incredulous when Murphy pinched it off him. So was his foot on the line?
I think the referee called play on, but the touch judge was calling That he jumped from in goal.
Well, the touch judge certainly influenced the no try call. And I don't have a problem with it. That seemed perfectly reasonable to me. If that goes up as a try, it comes down as a try.
Yeah.
So...
the one I had a problem with